Welcome. Welcome to Touching the Edge. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Drake, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you for being part of this series on, stepping into emotional mastery and recognizing how much of it really has to do with us stepping into a greater level of patience. Being patient with the world and being patient with ourselves as well. And so for me, emotional mastery is really recognizing that it's not like a black or white thing, like you either have it or you don't. For me, emotional mastery is a continuum. It's a progression, and it means different things at different points in our life. I mean, I think sometimes what might be emotional mastery at one point of life is not at another. And so, for me, it's really this process of an unending commitment to improving one's relationship to one's own emotions and finding greater ability to find our clarity. And for me, study is one of those great ways. And so I just want to introduce you to several books that have been very influential in my life. Now, some of them have been more than others, but they all have had a long-term relationship with each of them. And so this first one I want to just connect you with is this book called Enlightened Courage. And it's really about the 7-point mind training, and it's really an amazing text, and particularly the root text, which is only 3 pages, is such an influential part of my life. The text of the book is also really great. It's an analysis of the root text, and I just want to suggest that this is one of my all-time favorite books, and I continue to learn from it to this day. Another one of my favorite books is actually probably the first book I came across, when I was like 10 years old, and it changed my life. And this is The Way of Zen by Alan Watts. And so it was a huge turning point for me. At that point, the world seemed very bleak to me. And even I had come in contact with, this philosophy of existentialism right before that. And it was about the world being so bleak that you really want to be in the moment. But it still made me connect with a sort of, at least my relationship to it made me feel negative. And so I came across this book, The Way of Zen, and it was about coming to the present because the moment was so beautiful and recognizing that in that we could have a transformation. And so The Way of Zen was another one of the all-time great books for me. I want to show you, this is Zen is Right Here, The Wisdom of Shinru Suzuki. And this is a great book, but actually the one that actually had a greater influence on me by him was the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And again, it came through my life at an incredibly powerful moment. And it made me really see Zen Buddhism as something I had never even considered before. And it really, again, changed my life. Now, I don't consider myself to be a Buddhist or a Zen Buddhist, and yet these things have been highly influential. And I really want to encourage you to begin a path of study, much the same way that the great writer Aldous Huxley talks about in The Perennial Philosophy. For me, it's about studying widely. Now, some people would say that if you don't pick a path and go for it, that you're only going in a superficial level. And that might be true, but this is the path that has worked for me. Now, I want to show you 2 more books. The Lotus Sutra. And so many, many years ago, probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I decided to have an ongoing study of this Buddhist sutra and to study it throughout the rest of my life. And I've been studying the Lotus Sutra for about 15 or 20 years. It's had a profound effect on my life. It's had a profound effect in my realizing that this world does not have to bind us. That this world, that change can happen so very quickly, and that by maintaining ourselves in stillness, that we actually transform the world that we live in. And so, again, that's so superficial. This is such a deep study, and it's really a practice in and of itself. And it really requires you to kind of gaze into it, almost as though you're looking into a prism and looking deep into it. And this final book here is one of the all-time great books for me, I Am That, by Nisargadatta Maharaj. And so these last 2 books are studies of mine throughout my whole life. When I came across I Am That, and actually the book The Ultimate Medicine, it transformed my life. There was a before and an after. And then after that, I began to really become less bound by my own opinions, recognizing that I could be in presence and recognize my perception and even act on it in a powerful way, but not be trapped by it. Really recognizing that real incredible, powerful phrase, I am, and the power of it. And that phrase in so many different elements, whether it be Neville Goddard or Joel Goldsmith, or even different people from around the world. They talk about this phrase I am and the power of it, and the power of focusing in presence and connecting it to your subtlety. And so these are some of the books that have really been powerful for me. I could go over many, many more, and I occasionally will. But I'm curious, what have you studied that's really made a big difference in your life? How are you stepping into the process of transformation, recognizing it is not a pass-fail, but an actual process of transforming one's connection to your emotions? How are you in that? Let us know. Please like the videos. Let other people know about them. Please come back again and be part of the conversation. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. For me, in the end, emotional mastery is the balancing of passion, balancing it with patience, and having a deep, deep trust in this reality. Thank you for joining, my friend. Have a great day. Namaste. Thank you.